to be forever a champion.
How about that? Absolute madness.
It's been nearly 1,100 days since college basketball's veteran venue, University of Dayton Arena, hosted the First Four. Tonight, we celebrate the return of March Madness like it ought to be. Welcome, everyone, to the First Four. Our first participant, the Southland Conference champions, Texas A&M-Corpus Christi Islanders. What a turnaround. They quadrupled their win total from a season ago. Texas Southern, the SWAC tournament champions. They know what it's like to be in the NCAA tournament and to win a game inside one of the best college basketball venues in the country. The Midwest region First Four between Texas Southern and Texas A&M-Corpus Christi, with a chance to move on to face Kansas, the #1 seed, on Thursday. Hey everybody, I'm Tom McCarthy, along with Avery Johnson, who played and coached in 3 NCAA tournaments. Steve Lavin coached in 8 NCAA tournaments. John Rothstein will join us in just a little bit. All right, guys, there have been smiles everywhere the last couple of days because, Avery, we're back to playing basketball the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah, back to playing basketball here in Dayton, Ohio, and I'm excited to be in this building because the last time I was in this building, I left with an L, but not tonight. And this also signifies that we're getting closer to the Final Four in my hometown of New Orleans so I can eat some gumbo.
Yeah, we're all going over to Avery's house. All right, Lav, you've been part of these festivities before. It's exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, let's face it, it's one of the great sporting events, not only in our country, but the world. March Madness is back, and I really sensed yesterday at the shoot-arounds, the practices, the players, the teams, there was this sense of anticipation.
Yeah.
And I understand why. We got the best seat in the house right here, a little like Charlie in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Right.
The golden ticket, we got 3 of them.
We promise we won't tell any lies. All right, let's first talk about the Texas Southern squad that is so good and so fast.
Yeah, Coach Johnny Jones' squad, they're just so balanced. You just don't know where the scoring is coming from. You look at John Walker, the third, but also you can look at A.J. Lawson. But one of the main guys for Coach Johnny Jones, TSU, Tiger, P.J. Henry, you know, the SWAC tournament MVP. He had 21 points against BYU in a non-conference game. He finished off Alcorn State with 15 points in the SWAC tournament championship. And man, he's a penetrator, really fast with the basketball.
Speaking of fast, both these teams are fast. Texas A&M-Corpus Christi, Lab. This is an amazing turnaround that they've had.
Yeah, they matched Iowa State, an 18-game turnaround from a season ago. The Islanders have been in a sprint, literally and figuratively, down the floor, but also 7 of 8 wins to finish the season, led by Terrion Murdoch. His shot-making and playmaking ability is critical to the Islanders' success. And, of course, Jalen Jackson is his partner. Those two, a dynamic duo, a terrific tandem. Their pressure on the ball disrupts opponents and creates offensive opportunities for the Islanders. We've got a dandy, fellas.
We sure do. It's the first of 4 in Dayton. Texas Southern, Texas A&M-Corpus Christi. The tip is next.
Coverage of the NCAA men's basketball tournament is sponsored by Capital One. What's in your wallet? Sherwin-Williams. Painting questions? Ask Sherwin-Williams. Taco Bell's Nacho Fries. And by Great Clips, official hair salon of March Madness.
Unseasonably warm in Dayton, Ohio. It's been delightful these last couple of days. Texas A&M, Corpus Christi, Texas Southern both practiced yesterday. Here are the starting lineups for the 2 teams. Bryson Gresham for Texas Southern, guys. He has really come on and is healthy as this season's moved on.
Yeah, I like his shot blocking ability. Played for Kelvin Sampson over at the University of Houston. And they think he's made a big difference with their team, that if they're able to win this game, they think he can help in the next round. Unlike when they played Michigan last year, they didn't have much size.
Let's check in with John Rothsey. John, welcome to the NCAA tournament.
Welcome, Tom, and happy holidays to you and the rest of our crew. And we've got a tale of two teams tonight here in Dayton. Texas A&M-Corpus Christi, a brand new team under first-year head coach Steve Lutz. 8 junior college transfers on the roster. Most of these players recruited via Zoom because of the pandemic. Conversely, Texas Southern under Johnny Jones has NCAA tournament experience. They went a year ago. Experience against inexperience here tonight in Dayton, Tom.
Yeah, no doubt about that. There is Johnny Jones. The Islanders wearing their black uniforms. We asked Steve Lutz, are you wearing the black again because you wore them to win the championship in the tournament? He said, you know what? I don't know. Well, let's go with that. Joe Lindsay is the referee, and he is at center court, letting the players handle the basketball one last time. And here we go. It's been more than 1,000 days since we had the first 4 last in Dayton, Ohio. This building has been revamped since the last set of games. It is gorgeous, and college basketball will take center stage for the next several weeks. March Madness is underway, and boys, we're going to see a lot of man-to-man defense.
And both these teams rebound well.
And there's the first turnover of the night as the Islanders go quickly into transition. Murdoch's baseline no good, and the rebound is pulled down by Texas Southern.
Yeah, rebounding is going to be a big key. Both coaches talked about it on yesterday. You know, they felt whoever can control the boards can control the game and take care of the ball. Texas Southern started off with 2 consecutive turnovers.
Yeah, Mushila with the pick. That's the second steal on back-to-back possessions. And Johnny Jones is not fooling around. He's already got a new player at the scorer's table in John Walker. It will be physical, too, right, guys? I mean, that's what we anticipate. Murdoch gives it off to the corner, short 3, and the rebound by Texas Southern.
Well, early here, the Islanders' pressure defense has been on point. Good help defensively. Closing out on jump shooters. And then the ability to push the ball with speed.
Here's Murdoch high-stepping, gets it outside, and then they drive to the basket. A lot of contact, but the first bucket of the night goes to Jalen Jackson.
Yeah, Jalen Jackson, he's like the engine for Texas A&M-Corpus Christi. He's the guy that plays bigger than his size and being able to play through contact.
He spent the last 2 years in North Texas, didn't play a whole lot. And count the bucket and the foul. All right, let's take a look at this drive by Jalen Jackson.
Yeah, he's a really strong right-handed player. Nice move by his teammate, but nice shot fake here. Get to his strong hand. Almost hit the top of the backboard.
And this foul is on Murdoch. That'll be his first, team's first. It'll send John Jones to the free throw line. He's just 86% for the free throw line.
I like the maneuvering at a pace where he avoided picking up the offensive foul.
Yeah.
Comes up short on that free throw line, so that's your fault early here. I noted the free throw jinx.
I got to get things out of the way.
Yeah, better early than late.
That's right.
Hey, both John Jones's mom and dad, who are present here tonight, dad's coaching and mom's right behind him. They're going to be upset with you for jinxing him on that free throw.
It'll be Islanders basketball, 17 on the shot clock. Moving the basketball around, shot clock is out under 10. Along the baseline, shot clock is at 2. Jumper is good from the corner.
Well, you can see this Islander team is in rhythm. Offensively tenacious. Ball pressure defensively as well. And that's why they've been successful. Good answer.
Yeah, Walker with the answer of the Mushila 3. We're tied up at 5.
Yeah, the Texas A&M transfer. He's a kid, man. If he's making his three-point shot, he's going to be hard to guard.
Well, Gresham there keeping his hands up to block that shot. Off the high screen, Lawson gives it off to Walker. They kick it back to Lawson for 3 off the side of the rim.
Good check out on the boards by the Islanders.
Yeah, both these coaches said we've got to make sure that there's not a second shot for each team. because they do crash the offensive boards. Baseline jumper. No, it's good. It took a nice friendly bounce. So Simeon Fryer, the senior from Philadelphia, connects on his first bucket.
And Fryer with the soft touch. The iron was kind.
Well, there's another turnover. That's the third for Texas Southern.
What a frenetic pace.
Yeah, really. Jackson gave it up. That three is no good. Mushila is fouled. It'll be Lawson. It's his first. Watch live men's games on your computer, phone, tablet, or streaming device with NCAA March Madness Live. Scan the QR code now to download. Along with Avery Johnson and Steve Lavin, John Rothstein, I'm Tom McCarthy. 7-5, 16:42 to play here in the first half.
If you notice with Texas A&M-Corpus Christi, they're making it a point to try to bring Grissom out on the perimeter.
Yep.
They don't want him in the paint.
And that gives them a chance to drive a little bit too. Tennyson lost control of that one. Here come Texas Southern. The three attempt from John Jones, no good, too strong. And the battle for the loose ball, the Islanders have it. Into the open floor, it's Tennyson, high stepping to the basket, count the bucket, and the blocking foul.
Again, defense creating offense. Stops and shutouts leading to runouts. And passing the ball, advancing it through the pass allows the Islanders to get down the floor. And Tennyson with the impressive finish, playing through the contact, good concentration, keep eyes on target, step into the free throw line for the old-fashioned three-point play attempt.
Yeah, so he'll go to the line, 85%. Substitutions, Keys checks out. The free throw is no good, in and out.
You know what's impressive, Avery? Neither team looks uptight. Sometimes big stage, big moment. It takes, you know, a couple minutes before you feel relaxed. I mean, right out of the gate, here comes Tennyson again off another turnover by Texas Southern.
Yeah, I think Texas Southern, they're a little bit sloppy to start the game. You know, that's their fourth turnover. You know, and A&M-Corpus Christi, you know, they don't have any turnovers or one turnover. So, and if they block shots, that's like a turnover. And that's what I love about when you're talking to Coach Lutz, that they like to block shots and keep it in play.
Yeah.
Well, again, you know, when you talk about Texas A&M-Corpus Christi, nice Euro step here by Tennyson, getting in transition, and nice job passing the ball ahead. Fantastic body control.
Texas A&M-Corpus Christi off to a 5-for-9 start. They have forced 5 turnovers so far. Get complete coverage of the NCAA Division I Women's Tournament on NCAA.com. Sold out here at UD Arena as the Island University will inbound along the baseline. Good defense by Texas Southern, trying to slow them up a little bit. Trying to direct traffic up top. Brinson with the shot clock under 10. Into the paint, behind the back with his dribble, kicks it back outside. Shot clock is at 3. I'm not sure if they realize it. Jackson fadeaway jumper short. Well, the rebound is taken by P.J. Henry. Henry kicks it outside for Jones for 3, no good. And Tennyson will bring it up the floor. Another team particularly strong from beyond the arc. Boy, that's a good force inside.
Well, early offense by the Islanders. They get down the floor quickly and get organized. And high percentage decision to put it down low.
So the foul is on Gresham. That'll send Faramade to the free throw line. It's 41% from the free throw line. And the first of 2. No good. That kind of looked like 41%.
Yeah, and a big key, obviously the regular season, we see this all the time, but especially in conference tournament play, and now in the NCAA tournament where it's either win or go home, when you have a poor free throw shooter at the free throw line, you have to rebound this basketball. It's really deflating when you give up an offensive rebound on the free throw line.
Yeah, free throw stepping, put a body on your opponent, carve out some space and rebound, as Texas Southern does on that missed free throw. And interestingly, even though they missed 2 free throws here, their strength is getting to the foul line. The Islanders, as impressive as any. 9th in the country in free throw attempts per game.
John Walker's 3 is no good, so they're scoreless for the last 3 minutes. It's 11-5, Islanders on top. Verdicts has it knocked out of bounds. It'll remain Texas A&M-Corpus Christi ball.
But even though Texas Southern missed that shot, since it wasn't a turnover, you can get back and get your defense in.
Yeah, there's no defense for live ball turnovers.
Right, there's no defense. Not in any level. AAU, college, pro, it doesn't matter.
Islanders going with the bigger front line.
Yeah, big time, and Faramade is able to slam it home. He brought it home with a little shaka. And it's 13-5, Texas A&M-Corpus Christi.
That's the versatility and flexibility in personnel the Islanders have. They can go big, small, quick. Great take.
Yeah, Etienne went right to the basket, high off the glass for that bucket for Texas Southern. It's the first bucket in the last 3.5 minutes. Again, the winner moves on to face Kansas in Thursday's first round. Tennyson for 3, no good. And the ball goes out of bounds, so Texas Southern will take it over.
Excellent pass here to Faramade. Open floor, pick and roll. Can't hug the weak side. No shrinking the floor that time by Texas Southern. They were hugging the shooters, and Texas A&M-Corpus Christi, they'll make you pay if you don't shrink the floor.
Faramade's done a nice job since the conference tournament season began. 7.5 points, nearly 5 rebounds. It will remain Texas Southern basketball.
And one thing on that last play also, you got to also know who's the non-shooter or who's the lesser of a three-point shooter.
Who you can help off of.
Yes, that's where scouting reports really come in play.
Gilliam inbounds to Etienne, and he is fouled going up. And that'll be a 3-shot foul.
Etienne there needs to close out on balance with high hands. You want to contest the shot, but be on balance. The follow through of that contest led to the foul, even though the ball goes off the side of the backboard. Clunk.
So Etienne to the free throw line for 3.
No, guys, in a situation like that, it's also about the guy that's defending the inbounder. Sometimes coaches want the inbounder to protect the basket, 1,001, 1,002, 1,003, and then jump to the corner.
Second free throw is good. Don't miss the Impractical Jokers like you've never seen them before. The Jokers return with a big new episode with special guest Eric Andre, April 2nd after NCAA coverage on True TV. Third attempt is good. He made all 3. He's got 5. And just like that, Texas Southern has climbed within 3. It had been an 8-0 run for the Island University before this 3-0 run. Faramade is fouled again, and he'll get a couple of free throws.
Second consecutive time Texas Southern has been burned by this middle pick and roll, spread pick and roll.
So Faramade back to the free throw line where he was 0 for 2 before. Oh, that form looked really nice.
Yeah, took his time.
Yep.
Knees were flexed. Ball came off the middle 3 fingers, creating that good rotation.
Mushila checks back in as Fryer checks out. And now the second attempt. That one a little too hard off the back of the iron. Whistle blows, and I believe we have a violation. The violation is going to go against John Walker of Texas Southern.
Yeah, it looked like he started in the lane a little bit too fast.
Off balance, that left foot.
And that helps Texas A&M-Corpus Christi. Johnny Jones has done a wonderful job in 4 years at Texas Southern. Talked about being the 16 seed because he's the 16 seed more often than not. He said, I don't get caught up in that anymore. He goes, I just take care of what we can take care of.
Yeah, very poised. Temperament and bearing on the sideline, a teacher.
Rosas into the paint. Hook shot is good over the top. That was an athletic move. For Rosas, that's his first bucket. Make it a 3-point game.
Yeah, decisive on the catch. No hesitation. Goes right into the jump hook.
Speaking of decisive, that three is no good. And Walker with an easy rebound. Here come Texas Southern, the Tigers in transition, in motion three, too strong.
And that's what makes them a special team and why they're back in the NCAA tournament 2 years in a row. You don't know where the offense is coming from. Sometimes that's bad in the last 2 minutes of the game because Coach Jones has so many options. Nice move here.
Yeah, Ross is using that dribble effectively and gathers and gets a nice release on the jump hook. Good lift.
I don't know if Coach Lutz agreed with that travel call. But a 3-point game. Texas Southern can tie this game up if they can can a 3-pointer. Jumper from the elbow is no good by Rosas. Here come the Islanders quickly up the floor. Under 12 minutes to play here in the first half. Murdoch's down toward the baseline, leans off the glass. His man left him, and that's his first bucket.
Murdoch's with the jump stop, the ability to slam on the brakes there, looks around, sees the opening, and says, why not? Little mid-range stop and pop game.
Lost start that mid-range. Jalen Jackson's pass down low. They kick it back up top. Murdoch drives to the basket, cannot convert.
That was a good drive. Nice try with the left hand, and the Islanders are doing a nice job of playing inside out. They want the ball to touch the paint first.
Rosas with his second bucket. He's got 4.
I like the way Rosas there crept behind along the baseline in the shadows behind the defense and able to get himself a high percentage look. Breakdown defensively by Texas Southern.
Teams are combined 2 for 11 from beyond the arc in the early going. Shot clock under 10, and the lean off the side of the rim is no good by Keys.
And when Texas Southern shot blockers on the bench, you got to convert those shots inside because you're not going to get many of them.
Yeah, he's about to check back into the ball game as Walker's able to convert. That's his 5th.
Nice pass by Rosas there. High-low action. Tandem, two-man basketball, very effective. There's 2 straight breakdowns by the Islanders, allowing interior point-blank range shots.
Good force along the baseline. Ball is tipped around and saved by Mushila, and he's able to get it in.
And that's what Coach Lutz was talking about. He's patterned his offense a little bit after his time. Creighton, Big Ten motion. They're just not a pick-and-roll team.
Murdoch cannot convert, but there to clean it up is Fryer. He lays it in as the putback is good. And a timeout called by Texas Southern. 5-point lead for the Islanders. 9:49 to play here in the first half. All right, Avery, you were a ball handler during your playing days. What's going on here that leads to the Islanders' points?
Well, it's really outstanding defense here by Texas A&M-Corpus Christi. So you see them right here, this help. This is when you have more of a wall and not a curtain. The help side man comes in, they stick with it, and now they're off to the races. And then also, they don't give up on the play, follow it, offensive rebound, score, really excellent defense, and even better transition offense.
Yeah, always assume it's a miss, not a make. Fryer there to put it back in.
Jordan Carl Nicholas, his first bucket as he dove to the basket on that drive to make it a 3-point game.
Texas Southern has settled down some now and found a rhythm of their own offensively. And less turnovers of late.
And Friars fouled on the high post. Jordan Gilliam is called for that foul. Well, it's the first of 4 here in Dayton. And so far, no cobwebs, just a whole lot of action. Texas A&M-Corpus Christi has a 21-18 lead over Texas Southern. Moments ago, John Rothstein caught up with Texas Southern coach Johnny Jones.
Well, Johnny, they've gotten a couple of easy opportunities. How do you take away their opportunities in transition moving forward?
Taking care of the basketball. We've got a few ill-advised turnovers on the other end. We need attempts and not turnovers. If we're getting shots at the basket, we're great in our half-court defense, but it's very difficult getting back when you turn the ball over in the open floor, and I think that's where they were able to execute down on the other end, shooting quick, getting quick baskets.
Thanks. Have a great rest of the half.
It is loud here at UD Arena. Both bands are into this game, just as the fans are. It's sold out. And they're expecting sellouts throughout the course of March Madness around the country, which is great to see. 2 on the shot clock. Pull-up jumper is no good off the front of the rim by San Antonio Brinson. Etienne gave it off to the corner. P.J. Henry, entry pass inside. Carl Nicholas into the paint, moves around, too strong off the glass, but Gresham's there to clean it up.
Yeah, sometimes the best offense is a missed shot when you got the bigs to play volleyball at the rim, and there's a classic example for Texas Southern.
Yeah, Texas Southern guys, 10% of their points come on putbacks like that, and Gresham picks up the block. His shoulder is healthy, which means he's getting better.
Yeah, because he had shoulder surgery after last season, and took him a little bit of time to get back in rhythm. But boy, he's playing some of his best basketball.
Went to the Final Four with the University of Houston. Also was at UMass. Shot clock is under 10. P.J. Henry calls out the offense. Pull up from 17. It's blocked and pulled out of the air by the Islanders.
Good defense there by Jalen Jackson, the contest on the jumper.
Fryer leaves it off to the top of the free throw line for Keys, and his jumper's no good. Etienne up the floor slowly. Off the high screen, way downtown, and it's good. Oh, that's the first lead of the night for Texas Southern. And Etienne from way downtown.
Etienne with too much daylight, able to window shop over the top and launch that bomb from long range.
He has almost 12 points per game in the last 19. From the corner, Henry gives it up to the free throw line. Diving to the basket is Carl Nicholas, and he's fouled going up. That'll be against Keys, a 2-shot foul.
Etienne, one of the things Coach Jones said about Etienne, when he misses shots, it does not affect his confidence. He loves to put it in the ocean.
Coverage of the NCAA men's basketball tournament is sponsored by Dove Men. Smoother, healthier skin with every shower. Corona Extra. Live La Vida Más Fina. And by Geico. You could save even more by bundling home and car insurance.
Texas Southern has taken the lead over Texas A&M-Corpus Christi. Moments ago, John Rothstein caught up with Steve Lutz, the head coach of the Islanders.
Texas Southern's come back to take the lead, Steve. How do you have to counter that now moving forward?
Well, we've got to do a better job defensively on the glass. They've gotten a couple offensive rebounds and a couple easy putbacks here in the last 3 or 4 possessions. And then when we do get the rebound, we're not getting out and running in transition. We've got to do a better job in transition and get some easy baskets. We've not done a great job in the half court of moving the ball enough. So, you know, we got to start it on the defensive end, though.
Thanks. Have a good rest of the half.
Thanks.
All right, John, we appreciate that. Jordan Carl Nicholas to the free throw line where he missed both. And Tennyson, the rebound for the Islanders, gets it off to Murdix. Lap, how hard is it when you have so many players coming in and out of the game like these two teams do?
You need your assistants are helping as well, but the head coach has to have a sense or a feel. Just intuitively knowing his team in terms of the combinations that should be on the floor, because sometimes you're looking for some offense, some defense. Ideally, you want both, but the reality is certain combinations are stronger in one area more than another.
There's the steal by Texas Southern, Etienne, and he's fouled at midcourt. Joe Lindsay, the referee, made that call.
In time, I agree with Steve, but also when you have two teams that are so evenly matched like both of these teams, you got to be able to handle the up and down cycles of the game. If you're in an up cycle, you don't want to be too cocky and too arrogant and too careless. If you're in a down cycle, you got to hang in there and fight through adversity. And whomever's able to do that, that's the team that's in the last 3 to 5 minutes that'll take over this game. But this is going to be a dogfight throughout this game.
Gresham doing a little high-low with Carl Nicholas, and a foul is called as he was heading to the paint. That foul is going to go against Miles Smith, number 2.
Well, dangerous to spin dribble, but Jordan Carl Nicholas able to pick up the foul on that slap downward on the ball.
And Carl Nicholas takes the inbounds and gets it off the glass.
And see, that's all the special teams. I know we're playing basketball. That's the special team situations in basketball. Underneath, out of bounds, getting the quick score.
And Carl Nicholas with the block along the baseline. And quickly Texas Southern gets in motion. Lawson to the basket, can't get it to go.
Well, there's been a concerted effort by Texas Southern to put the ball down low as well. And they've crawled back into the game as a result. And they're not turning the ball over. They had the 4 early turnovers, but since then only 1. And so really have found a nice rhythm.
Texas Southern is #1 in the SWAC and shot blocking for a reason.
Yeah, they average 5 a game. Gilliam with the missed shot. And now Murdix brings it up the floor. He'll quickly go into the offensive set, right to the glass, off the rim, no good, and a foul underneath. Coca-Cola Zero Sugar, the best Coke ever, like the GOAT. Jordan Carl Nicholas called for his first foul. It's the 6th team foul. Sheila checks back in for the Islanders. Also back in is Simeon Fryer. Shot clock at 20. There's the Island University inbound along the baseline. There's Murdix trying to use that screen. And he leaves it off for Faramade, and he has it stolen away. Here comes Etienne into the open floor, the alley-oop, and they cannot convert. It was unfortunate that Walker was just a little too far under the basket.
Yeah, those type of lob plays, they really energize a team, but I'm just confused that Texas A&M-Corpus Christi, they still want to attack the shot blocker.
Yeah.
They've had, what, 2 block shots in a serious contest, 3 out of the last 4 possessions. And when you're attacking a shot block, I know when I played, and I got downhill and I saw a shot blocker, I'm really thinking about making a play for my teammate. How can I pump fake, elevate, make a short pass? You got to diffuse those guys' ability to protect the basket by getting your teammates involved.
4-point lead. What do you got, John Rothstein?
Well, Avery's talking about the shot blocking. Bryson Gresham alone has blocked 65 shots this season, the most ever in his career. Prior, 48. He also had 5 in the SWAC title game against Alcorn State, Tom.
Well, Carl Nicholas could not convert. Here come the Islanders. 4.5 to play. They go down low to Faramade, and he's able to lay it in. 25-23. Whistle blows, and it's going to be Texas A&M-Corpus Christi ball. Jalen Jackson comes back in.
On that last possession, fellas, Faramade gathered. He caught it. He also had an angle. There was no one between him and the basket, going back to what you were saying, Avery. If you don't have an angle and you don't have the size advantage and you're going against a shot blocker, you don't make contact, I've got to give it up. Smooth touch, buttery, bottoms.
Fryer is able to convert that one. He has 7 points. And Texas A&M-Corpus Christi back on top by 1. Under 4 to play here in the first half.
Normally Fry is more of a corner three-point shooting guy. It won from one of the lower percentage shots in college basketball.
How about A.J. Lawson there, the whirling dervish, able to jackknife through defenders and put it down.
Fire with it outside, gets it up top to Murdix. Murdix to the basket, sweeps in. Woo! Man, how about the spin on that basketball?
Man, he was in a spin class, spin cycle. He was spinning. Outstanding move.
Double figures in each of the last 6 games. The whistle blows. Walker's fouled on the floor. Lab, what do you think about this spin move?
Wow. The shot maker, playmaker extraordinaire, midair, body balance, acrobatic, put it off the window. Timeout.
Our game summary at a 1-point game. Texas A&M-Corpus Christi leads Texas Southern 28-27. It's not surprising, guys, that 27 of the points have come from the bench. Lab, how important is it to get these bench points at this time of the year?
Well, it's how their team is built. It's a democracy when you look at Texas Southern. They use their depth to wear opponents down, and he doesn't feel Coach Jones, that is, there's much of a let up. Good execution out of bounds play. You talked about special teams or the kicking game, the equivalent in basketball, and Texas Southern excelling in that respect, Avery.
Yeah, that's 5 points on the last 2 underneath out of bounds plays. And the great thing about Texas Southern, they're not reinventing themselves. They're not having an identity crisis here in the NCAA tournament.
No.
They're playing to their strengths. And 17 points off the bench is no surprise, or 20 at this point with that last 3 by John Walker III.
Here's that missed shot on the opposite end by the Islanders. And Faramade fouls P.J. Henry, and he goes to the free throw line. 64% free throw shooter, averaging 14 points per game in his last 3, and he'll have a 1-and-1 opportunity. And he rattles it home.
Texas Southern doing a really nice job of playing defense without committing silly fouls. Turnovers obviously have hurt him a little bit, but if it was a blind taste test, in some ways you would think that Texas Southern, the way they started the game, would be down. They would have a 4-point deficit.
Instead, they've just matched their largest lead.
Yeah, they do it in different ways. I think part of the reason, Avery, to your point, is when the Islanders get out in transition, they're playing downhill. They have such electrifying athleticism and speed. But Texas Southern, in their own respect, playing inside, executing well, have gotten back into the game and in good position.
Faramade with the handoff to Murdix. Murdix, tough pass, and it's cut off by Carl Nicholas. Jordan Carl Nicholas has played one heck of a first half for Texas Southern. A little hesitation by P.J. Henry initially. And now he'll reset the offense.
Yeah, good judgment, good choice to get organized. Try and get a good one.
And Walker's fouled at the free throw line. Stay tuned for AT&T at the half with Rex Chapman, Seth Davis, Nabil Kareem, and Candace Parker live from Atlanta with analysis of the first half.
This is where experience comes into play. Steve, you and I had the Texas Southern game last year in Bloomington. That was my first time in Bloomington, as a matter of fact. What a historic venue. And John Walker was there with Texas Southern and experience. You know, he made a 3 and then he decided to take his man off the bounce. Experience is sometimes the best teacher.
No doubt. And the continuity as well, so important as you build a program, build a team from season to season.
Jalen Jackson up top, shot clock down, close to 10. 1:45 to play here in the first half. Leaves it up top for Brinson, into the paint, foul going up, and he'll get a couple free throws. Clock stops, 1:42 to play in the first half.
And see what I love about that drive. You know, drive to basketball, defender wasn't in what they call a legal guarding position, and he took advantage of it.
Brinson 64% from the line.
Well, that's something they do on the season, the Islanders. We talked about their 9th in the country at 22 free throw attempts, but they also convert 16 free throws per game.
BR Kicks is your source for everything kicks and fits, from your favorite athletes to latest drops. At BR Kicks, we are all sneakerheads. Scan the QR code to follow BR Kicks.
San Antonio Brinson. I wonder where did he get that name, San Antonio?
Well, he's from Thompson, Georgia, so I don't know.
I don't know. I know a little bit about San Antonio.
Yes, you do. We'll give you some time later on to wax poetic about it.
The whole state, for that matter.
Yeah,
the
really.
governor sitting next to me on my right.
Walker puts it on the deck, tries to knife through the defense. They're going to call an offensive foul. He thought he was getting an N1. Joe Lindsay, the veteran official, made the call. That's his second foul.
Nice job here.
Jalen Jackson stepping in. He's done a lot of things defensively with the block shot, taking the charge, disruptive with his ball pressure as well, getting under opponents.
Murdoch goes to the wing for Fryer, down the baseline. Up top for Jackson for three, and it bounces over the backboard and out of bounds.
A lot of times in that situation where he took the charge, it depends on your defensive philosophy. A lot of teams, even in college basketball now, they don't like to help off of that strong side corner because that's the easiest three in basketball. But he gave up his body, and then offensively, you got to play off 2 feet and make that easy pass when you're in that situation.
Henry slowly started up the floor, but then a burst of speed. He has it at the logo, under a minute to play. Henry gives it up top to Jordan Carl Nicholas. Outside for John Jones. His runner is no good, up the side of the iron, and then he knocks it out of bounds.
I think you alluded to it, Steve. Nicholas may want to leave that spin move in the locker room at halftime.
Tough to do in traffic, tight quarters. Spin moving in the closet, not the answer.
Yeah, but he's playing hard.
He is.
Murdoch calls the timeout, 36.4 to play. Steve Lutz wants to go over things. Three gourmet chefs compete to recreate and remix celebrities' favorite late-night cravings. Check out Reimagine Fast Food with a side of culinary craziness on Fast Foodies. New episodes return March 24th on True TV. Along with Avery Johnson, Steve Lavin, and John Rothstein, I'm Tom McCarthy. Steve Lutz called the timeout. Winner of this game will face Kansas. It'll be Thursday, 9:57 Eastern time. The #1 seed Kansas Jayhawks, who just keep on winning. Big 12 championship after Big 12 championship. Islanders, Murdoch down to the corner. And whistle blows and a foul on the floor.
Coach Lutz is upset because
Took a basket away.
Right. When you come out of a situation like that, you drawing up one of your really sweet, cute ATO plays, a little bit of a stagger, misdirection action to get that roll, and he was upset.
And they did have action, so they're taking a look at the last play. It was a really well-designed play, by the way.
Yep, and out of a timeout.
Yeah, watch Faramade after the screen slips to the basket.
Well, they're lifting Texas Southern's defense as well, and then create that little foot race to the rim.
I think what they're looking at, guys, is away from the basket. It wasn't where the action was.
Yeah, so in situations like that, they want to force the other big defender who's normally in the low spot. They want to shift him up. They want to basically shift him up here. Yeah.
Gene Steratore is with us. Gene, I know you're watching. What do you see here?
You know what they're looking at, guys, is where the contact is on the screen. That is away from the ball, opposite side of the court. It's the run through by #2 White. I don't think it rises to a flagrant, but it's a definite run through the forearm hits the screener in the chest. To me, it's a hard foul, but it's not a flagrant foul. I just have it as a common foul.
Yeah.
It's number 2 on that play.
Yeah, and that's why I was circling it. That's where the contact happened, and it happens to be A.J. Lawson. But they deemed that it wasn't, unnecessary. It's just a common foul.
All right, so Jalen Jackson will go to the free throw line for a 1-and-1.
Well, Jalen Jackson rewarded for putting his nose in there, trying to put some lumber, set a screen. And again, this is what the Islanders do. They get to the foul line frequently, and they convert. No one's better than Villanova.
No.
This year, they're on track to be the greatest free throw shooting team in college basketball history.
Pretty incredible. So he makes both. He has 4, and it's a 2-point game in favor of Texas Southern. This normally up-tempo offense now can just hold it for 1 shot.
Yeah, in a situation like this, you really don't want to start this play until you have about 7 seconds. And again, let me capitalize start. You don't want to shoot it at 7 seconds because you want to get the last shot of the half.
They give it off to Rosas. And his ball is fumbled into the open floor. Goes Jackson. He can't convert. And the horn sounds, and that is the end of the first half. Texas A&M-Corpus Christi forced some turnovers. They didn't capitalize all half long.
Well, Jalen Jackson again on that possession, indicative of the tenacious defense, the aggressive ball pressure that the Islanders want to impose.
Excuse me, Lab. John Rothstein's with Johnny Jones.
Well, Johnny, you're obviously frustrated by that last play. What really disappointed you?
Oh, just things happen. I wasn't sure if you got bumped or not, but we still got to be strong enough with the basketball to get a shot at the goal, especially there late. It's going into halftime. You want to finish with the momentum. Good thing we got back defensively and got to stop.
PJ Henry doesn't have a made field goal. He averaged 14 in the SWAC tournament. How big is it to get him going in the second half?
We're excited because we know he's going to come up big for us there in the second half. He'll make plays. We kind of got out of rhythm there a little bit there in the first half. We know that he'll step up and play big for us here in the second half.
Thanks. Have a great second half.
Thank you.
Tom.
All right, so Texas Southern, John Rothstein is on top 32-30 over Texas A&M. Corpus Christi, a lot of action in the first half. We'll send you to AT&T in the half after these messages. You're watching the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship.
Coverage of the NCAA Men's Basketball Tournament is sponsored by Coca-Cola Zero Sugar. Is it the best Coke ever? GMC. We are professional grade. GMC. Pizza Hut. Order today at pizzahut.com. And by Samsung Galaxy S22 series.
Back at the University of Dayton Arena in Dayton, Ohio. Let's take a look at our first half stats. Brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings. It's 32-30. Texas Southern is on top. Neither team is really shooting from beyond the arc too much. The combined 5 for 16. Along with Avery Johnson, Steve Labin, I'm Tom McCarthy. All right, Lab, what stands out to you?
I think the bench points, 22-10 in favor of the Tigers. And Johnny Jones using his bench very liberally in terms of the way he substitutes. They go 10 deep and trying to wear out the Islanders.
Yeah, with Texas A&M-Corpus Christi, they're going to have to make some three-point shots because Texas Southern block shots have definitely been bothering them. It's been a block party for Texas A&M, for Texas Southern. Those guys inside, Grissom, Nicholas, these guys, man, they do a great job of defending the ball, contesting without fouling, and it's going to be very important for Texas A&M-Corpus Christi to knock down more than 2 3-pointers that they made in the first half.
John Rossi, what do you got, buddy?
Well, Tom, Avery and Coach Steve Lutz are in the same mindset. Steve Lutz just telling me a couple of minutes ago his team has to make three-point shots to open up the Texas Southern defense. Bryson Gresham is changing everything at the front of the rim. Driving lanes will open if they can make some shots, Tom.
Yeah, and Gresham only played 9 minutes in the first half. In fact, there were 4 bench players for Texas Southern that had more minutes than 4 starters in tonight's game.
Interchangeable pieces,
yep.
Parts.
Islanders with the basketball to begin the second half for the chance to move on to face Kansas in the first round of the NCAA tournament. Three-pointer from the left wing is no good by Fryer. And here comes Texas Southern. P.J. Henry brings it into the open floor. Carl Nicholas had a pretty good first half. He's trying to back his way in. That's a high dribble, nearly lost it. Got control, kicks it out. Miles Smith with the drive, too high off the glass. And the rebound is taken down by the Islanders. And Mushila looked like he was fouled and fouled hard.
Yeah, Texas A&M-Corpus Christi started that half off trying to knock down the three. You can still look for three-point shots, but you got to maybe try to get the ball in the paint first and play inside out.
You explore other opportunities. Late clock, you can always launch a rocket, but give yourself a chance to play through the paint, get fouled, play inside out, all the good things that come from exploring a better shot.
Isaac Mushila, who is the newcomer of the year in the conference, all-conference second team, he inbounded that basketball and then was kind of wiping his face because he got hit in the chop so much. A.J. Lawson knocked the ball out of bounds for Texas Southern. There's Mushila from the Congo.
Look for Jalen Jackson to be more aggressive in the second half. 13 points in their closeout game and conference tournament championship.
He's the one with the basketball. He just gave it up to Keys. Shot clock is down to 7. Murdoch slips it. Everybody off their feet, and there's the blocked shot and the foul. And we're going to get a couple of free throws for the Islanders as Keys will go to the line. Carl Nicholas called for his third personal foul, and that's something to watch even with the depth of Texas Southern. So DeLazarus Keys averaged 8.5 points per game in conference play. 67% from the free throw line. And the first one no good. Now you just saw that note. They get to the line over 22 times per game, which is part of their game plan.
Yeah, and when you're shooting 74% as a team from the line, you want to live there. And speaking of the Southland Conference, you know what school the commissioner, Chris Grant, graduated from?
Well, I saw the smile on your face when you were talking to him today.
Southern University.
He's a Southern University man. A beautiful drive to the basket by Carl Nicholas. He has 6. I got to tell you, watching film doesn't do him justice when you watch him in person.
Yeah, nice versatility as well.
Before 31, Mushila gives it up to Jalen Jackson. Jackson into the paint, kicks it back outside. Jumper by Keys, no good. And here's P.J. Henry leading the break. Henry right to the basket, and he tried to kick it out to A.J. Lawson, but Lawson was trying to trail.
Yeah, I love this drive by Nicholas. Did a nice job. He didn't resort to the spin as he did in the first half. It was just a straight power move to the basket.
Well, Lab said, you know, you go to the locker room, you got to tell them not to spin next time.
Much more efficient there on that straight line drive.
Murdoch's off the screen, can't convert. Gresham with the rebound.
Texas Southern really checking on the boards. One and done for the Islanders.
P.J. Henry dishes to the corner, and that three-pointer is good by Etienne. 31%. He has 11. Murdoch's snaking through the paint to Jackson, right side of the lane. And a baseline jumper by Keys. That's a beauty.
Jackson's decisions have been on point throughout. You can see why the coaching staff so impressed with the winning choices he makes at both ends of the floor, offensively and defensively.
Oh, Nicholas, that's a tough shot. Trying to get his own rebound. He's volleyballing it up. And here come the Islanders, down 4.
I like the push by Jackson with the head up, the vision, a little feed into the post.
They go to Fryer in the corner. He wanted it for 3, got it to go.
But see, that was all Jalen Jackson. That's one of those hockey assists, right? You didn't get the assist, but you pass it to the man, your teammate, and then he got the assist. But he's got a good panoramic vision of the court. in the half court in transition. He's doing a nice job of quarterbacking the team here in the second half.
And the answer by Henry, who's fouled going up. All right, so extra passes, they talked about this a lot.
I like the poise with the double team, the kick out, and then the one more. So ball reversal in play, no wasted dribbles, but instead transporting the ball through the air and getting that high percentage look on the backside where the math is favorable.
Yeah.
P.J. Henry going to the free throw line. The Tigers 5 of 9 from the line tonight.
It's always good when the ball can access the paint either via pass, penetration.
Nice friendly roll. First 4 coverage of the NCAA Division I Women's Basketball Championship begins tomorrow at 7 on ESPNU. For more information on game times and listings, go to ncaa.com. Second shot for P.J. Henry. Again, Tigers with no double-figure scores, averaging no double-figure scores all season long. They have 1 in double figures. It's Etienne today. While the Islanders on the offensive ends. Sheila gives up his dribble. Jalen Jackson. You can see that Jackson, though, has a different mindset in this second half. They slip it down to the baseline to Mushila. Backing his way in. Shot clock at 5, and it's blocked away by Gresham. His hands all over the place.
Again, the Islanders have to be alert to the size disadvantage and kick that ball out, get a better look.
That wasn't a bad look by Gresham. Jalen Jackson tried to slip it. He does awkwardly, but the conversion is no good. Gresham with the rebounds.
Excellent pass in that situation.
A.J. Lawson count the buckets.
A big swing there. A layup at one end missed. A bunny at point-blank range. And Texas Southern, the Tigers get out in transition for the easy bucket. Why not? Take it to the hoop, absorb the foul, and finish. Timeout.
There's Bryson Gresham, who's 1 block shy of 80 for his career. He has 3 tonight. He will be part of the inaugural HBCU All-Star Game Sunday, April 3rd at 4 p.m. on CBS, taking place in New Orleans, home of the Final Four, and Avery's hometown. You would have been in that game, Avery, if it was back in the day.
Yes, sir. When you average 13.3 assists a game, which that record still stands today, choose me for that, select me for that game. Brian Custer will be on the call. The great Clark Kellogg will join me as an analyst, and A.J. Ross will handle the sideline reporting.
Awesome. We're all looking forward to it. And by the way, folks, when Avery, who is the most humble person I've met, when he's talking about the 13.3 assists, laugh, he did not brush anything off his shoulder in your direction, did he?
None.
Lawson with the missed free throw, and the Islanders back on offense. Tennyson for 3, no good. And there's Gresham with an athletic rip down with 1 hand.
8th rebound on the game. Talked about the 3 block shots as well.
Carl Nicholas tried to leave it for Gresham. He turned it over. And now the Islanders slowly bring it up the floor. Down 4. Tennyson for 3. Yes!
Oh, same spot he missed one from. Love the amnesia, the short memory. That's what shooters got to do. Lock and load, launch a rocket. Why not? Bottoms.
Yeah, 3rd-team All-Southland Conference player. Nice stroke. Shoots 37% from the 3-point line. He's made 71 threes this year, so it's not going to be gun shy.
Carl Nicholas in the paint, leaning, and a foul is going to be called on Faramade.
And it's good when you know how to relocate in situation. Here's the relocation. Defender made a defensive mistake. Poor closeout. Hand down.
Jordan Carl Nicholas to the free throw line, makes the first. Play the official men's bracket game of NCAA March Madness. The Capital One NCAA March Madness Men's Bracket Challenge is ready for your picks. So get your bracket started now at play.ncaa.com or in the March Madness Live app.
On that last 3-point shot with the defender, you have to close out in such a way where you're under the guy's jersey.
Etienne gets that long rebound, and his basket is no good, but he's going to go to the free throw line.
Lab, doesn't it feel like Texas A&M, they're just imposing their size? Texas Southern, excuse me, they're just imposing their size on Texas A&M-Corpus Christi.
Yeah, the size at the rim, the resistance has been impressive. They're also checking on the boards and rebounding so they can get down the floor. But I think their half-court execution's been impressive too, in terms of being patient, making the extra pass, getting organized if they don't have the numbers in the break.
By the way, they're also not subbing as much, so they just subbed there with John Walker coming in, and that gives Carl Nicholas a chance to take a breather.
And unlike in the first half, John Walker III, it felt like he was in the game in the first 30 seconds after those 2 turnovers to start the game.
Etienne converts both free throws. He's now 5 for 5. He has 13. Heading toward the 14-minute mark here in the second half. 4-point lead for Texas Southern. The winner advancing to Thursday's matchup against #1 Kansas.
I like the way Jackson surveys the floor.
And Gresham with another block. Get it out. But the follow is no good by Keys.
Yeah, Texas Southern boxes out like an old-fashioned team from the 1970s or 80s. Ball goes up, they turn and look for a body and put lumber on you. Here's the Gresham block shot hanging in the air. He swats it away.
And see, a lot of times with shot blockers, it's also about positioning and vision. A lot of times we want to talk about vision of a point guard, but it's also vision of bigs. You have to be able to see man and ball and be in the right position.
Walker through some traffic is able to slide it home. This is the largest lead of the night for Texas Southern, up 45-39.
Again, an attack on the rim, an attack of the paint, a conscious effort or amplified effort by the Tigers to search for those higher percentage looks.
Johnny Jones, you saw Gresham pick up his second foul. And it's the 3rd team foul of the half. What Johnny Jones say, he said, I love the fact that he has Final Four experience at the University of Houston. How about that? Just attacking is Tennyson, and it's off the front of the rim for his 9th point.
Yeah, Tennyson, he drove and said, let me push this shot blocker underneath the basket with this little, what we used to call a chicken wing. I know you don't eat chicken, Steve.
I love breasts. I love chicken breasts. Matter of fact, I just had some in New York at Blue Ribbon downtown in Soho a couple days ago.
The Gresham with the putback.
I had the mashed potatoes as well with gravy.
I'm a wing proud guy. You're making me hungry, Steve.
Miles Smith entry pass, and Keys off the front. So we got some action going with the big men now. That's 5 points for Keys.
Yeah, Keys got a different temperament this second half. A little bit gunshot in the first half. Hesitant.
Whoa, talk about hesitation.
There it is.
Henry.
On point.
He's got 5. It's a 6-point game again. It's his first field goal, by the way, which is surprising. Miles Smith trying to answer, and that's a foul on P.J. Henry.
Hesitation, the change of pace, the stop and start, stutter step, different terminology for it, but so effective at freezing the defense and then seizing that hole, take it to the daylight, get a bucket.
Miles Smith to the line, missed the first one.
And it's interesting with teams how they start practice. Some teams start practices off with defensive drills and slides and closeouts and rebounding, and then others start practices off with ball handling and passing and skill development. And that looks like a picture-perfect skill development type pre-practice or starter practice move.
No doubt. The way he sat down, low with the ball as well, close to the floor.
By the way, you saw Gresham went off. Rosas is back in for the first time in this half. P.J. Henry working off the high screen. Walker wanted a quick handoff, but it wasn't as quick as he would like. To the basket is Etienne, and the ball is knocked away. And the Islanders down 5. Nice crossover.
Keys should have rolled a little bit faster initially on that play.
Bounce pass. Down low to Keys. Keys underneath, has it blocked away. And here come the Tigers in transition. P.J. Henry to the corner for three. It's no good. And the offensive board and the putback no good by Lawson.
Good pace here, high octane. Both teams looking to push it early offense.
Tennyson for three. He cans it again.
How about it? Gets great lift. His feet are organized. Flexion, trajectory, and follow through all on point.
Well, he has 12. He's now 2 of 4 from beyond the arc.
And it's great that Coach Lutz talked to John Rothstein coming out of half, that they confirmed what we already thought. Texas A&M-Corpus Christi, they're going to have to knock down some threes all the way from the island of Corpus Christi.
Our tournament summary, 7 teams from Texas in the field, including the 2 tonight. And on this date, Coach K wins first NCAA tournament game at Duke. March 15th, 1985. We were all talking about where we were at that point. I was a junior in high school. Avery, what'd you say you were? You were?
I was a sophomore in college.
Yeah, and Lav?
I was a junior in college.
Yeah. Lav, the elder statesman.
Rub it in.
Yeah.
The only problem with that graphic is the fans can potentially guess our age.
Well, the Islanders down 2, got a chance to tie it or take the lead as we head toward 11 minutes to play here in the second half for a chance to move on to face Kansas in the first round.
See if they play through the hot hand, little NBA flavor. Taking their time here, executing, but right back to the hot hand.
And there it is, Tennyson, Kansas, third one. It's the first lead since 3:26 to play in the first half for Texas A&M-Corpus Christi.
Yeah, I've been so impressed coming out of timeouts with Texas A&M-Corpus Christi. Just their action, they know exactly where they want the ball to go.
They're 4 of 6, Avery, in the second half from the three-point line, starting to light it up from behind the arc.
And then you have to know in a situation like this, when you're guarding a screener, you have to get up on that screen just in case you may need to have an emergency switch. You can't be in no man's land in that situation.
I like the spacing there, a little two-man game stretched in the deep corner, but lifted enough where there was the back cut option if he was overplayed or denied, so it gave him an option to either catch and shoot or basket cut.
John, what did you hear before?
Well, Johnny Jones, guys, is telling his guys to protect the paint on defense. That's a priority. Obviously, the strength of Texas Southern is the shot blocking. 4 block shots already tonight for Bryson Gresham, 6 as a team. Offensively, he wants them to drive, try to get easy baskets, Tom.
Yeah, so far it's the Islanders are getting some easy baskets recently. Shot clock is at 5. They try to lean it in. The pinball goes to Murdix. Murdix gets the bounce off the side of the rim. It's a 3-point Islanders lead.
Impressive body control by Murdix. Hung in the air. Some contact, still finishes.
Wow, how about that answer by Etienne?
When you're talking about body control and strength and sheer will to just finish that play and muscle that basket in.
He has 15 points. Fryer pulls up inside the arc. Ball's tipped around, and the rebound is taken down by Johnny Walker. P.J. Henry quickly up the floor, and his pass is cut off. Amade got some hands and some legs on it, and now the foul on P.J. Henry at midcourt. Johnny Jones can't believe it. Play the official men's bracket game of NCAA March Madness. The Capital One NCAA March Madness Men's Bracket Challenge is ready for your picks. So get your bracket started now at play.ncaa.com or in the March Madness live app. Well, they both had hands on each other. "13 turnovers tonight for Texas Southern. Amade had his hand off the Jalen Jackson, tipped for a moment. They leave it up top for Smith. Missed jumper is good. He cans the three-pointer. It's a 4-point game, 55-51. Miles Smith, 31% from beyond the arc. And a foul called on Smith.
It's just amazing how lost on the weak side with some of the Texas Southern defenders here, you know, in that situation. Walker's in no man's land.
Islanders have taken the lead. Timeout called by Texas Southern. Texas A&M-Corpus Christi is on top by 4, 55-51. It's a 12-2 run over the last 3 minutes plus. As we take a look at our game summary. Etienne with 15 points, Tennyson with 15 points. Wyoming is waiting. They'll be the home team against the Indiana Hoosiers. That's coming up next. Let's check in with John Ross. Steve, John.
Well, Tom, Steve Lutz and Texas A&M-Corpus Christi are composed and confident in their huddle. Steve Lutz trying to continue to run offense and get things going away from the rim. Very composed, very confident, Tom.
Well, I'll tell you what, you want confidence. How about the shots that are being blocked by Texas Southern here tonight?
Yeah, and A.J. Lawson didn't quit on that play, was unsuccessful on offensive end, didn't complain, didn't pout, got back and made a incredible block. That's what March Madness is all about.
And B.J. Henry with a boardwalk shot. He just tossed it up as he curled through the paint. He has 7. It's a 2-point game. 8 minutes to play in the second half. Fryer up top. Faramade leads it underneath for the slicing Tennyson. He lays it in with his left hand. 7:49 to play in the second half. Action on the floor here in Dayton. Well, Avery, I know you like what Travion Tennyson's been doing here.
Yeah, and it's just like he's getting his shots individually when he thinks he can win his individual matchup. Obviously, he's shooting the 3 better. He's taking the ball to the basket. And then when the defense makes a mistake off of those staggered screens, he's making the defense pay.
Yeah, impressive that he's not settling for threes. His movement without the basketball, using his teammates to free himself up for jump shots. You saw the back cut against the overplay, the dribble drives, complete package.
Little full court pressure by the Islanders off this timeout. A timeout because there was moisture on the floor, so it turned out to be our under 8 timeout. Texas Southern with the basketball heading to the basket. John Walker is fouled going up. We mentioned the winner of this game moves on to face #1 Kansas. How about that other matchup on Thursday? San Diego State against Creighton.
2 stout defensive teams. Coach McDermott through the years known more for his offense and the let it fly approach, get down the floor, lock and load, shoot threes. This team more stout has improved, is the #1 defense in the Big East. And of course, San Diego State for years under Steve Fisher and now Brian Dutcher have been regular participants in the tournament because of defense.
Yeah. In fact, Steve Lutz, who was under McDermott at Creighton as an assistant coach, as the second shot is good by Walker. He'll check out. Jordan Carl Nicholas checks in. Steve said that what Greg McDermott taught him is don't put anyone in your locker room you wouldn't have play with your son. So that's what he tries to do from a recruiting standpoint. He said, I went with all these JUCOs, he said, because I know that if I had 5-star guys, they wouldn't want to take bus trips.
What is he talking about? Eating hamburgers
Yeah,
after
exactly. Here's a 3-pointer. It's no good off the back of the iron by Simeon Fryer.
I like the change of defense by Johnny Jones. Full court pressure out of that timeout. Just giving different looks again in the paint. Big fella going to work.
And that's
Jordan Carl Nicholas.
And that's the contrast with coaches. You know, Coach Lutz's first job, doing a nice job, been a long time assistant coach, and Coach Johnny Jones, a couple of different stops, LSU.
You had Randy Peel, the assistant coach also for Coach Jones, a great defensive mind that had success as a head coach. So that says a lot about Johnny Jones being secure in his coaching and in himself to be able to hire former head coaches.
59-57. Keys just made that bucket to break the 57-all tie. 6:15 to play here in the second half. They go up top to Gresham. Gresham right back to Etienne, and Etienne is able to convert.
And Gresham I love the way he runs the floor.
How about this answer? Wow. Simeon Fryer flying to the basket. He has 12.
Well, that's taking a team's basket away with one of your own by getting the ball inbounds like the old Celtics or Laker teams. They're down the floor and scoring on you in a split second. But that's repped. That's practiced.
I think it's also important when you don't celebrate after a basket.
Amen. No time.
Not in this day and age. Henry gives it up to Lawson. Back to Henry. Thought about a three. Now fires a three. High arcing shot. No good. But he's fouled by Murdix, and he'll go to the free throw line. He'll get 3 shots. That's the 3rd foul on Murdix.
Yeah, nice pass ahead here. Good shield inside by Keys. Legal shield.
Yeah, crafty like the old Green Bay Packers under Vince Lombardi there. Nothing wrong with a little blocking, screening, creating space for your teammate.
Henry 4 of 5 from the free throw line.
The key is disguising it as a post-up, which is what Keys tried to do there.
And now the second shot. It's good. He'll get a 3rd. What do you got there, John?
It's a good omen that Simeon Fryer is now hit double figures and beyond. Guys, this season, when Simeon Fryer scores in double figures, Texas A&M-Corpus Christi is 9-3, Tom.
Yeah, he averages 8.5 per game. 3rd shot by P.J. Henry is good. So 62-61. 5.5 to play. Murdix brings it up. He's got some length on him, and A.J. Lawson covering him up top. Here's Sheila. Now whistle blows, and there's going to be a foul on Gresham. A little hand-checking foul. That's his 3rd.
Yeah, and that's the fouls that you really don't want. You know, Keys is in a situation where he's not even looking to be a scoring threat. And at the start of the second half, you want to both teams are talking about getting in the bonus quickly, offensively, and staying out of it defensively.
Sheila doesn't take the shot. Shot clock is under 10. Jalen Jackson up top. I think he just peered and looked. They get it to the cutting Tennyson. Shot clock is at 2. They don't realize it. And they let it fly. No good. And a shot clock violation.
Good defense there by the Tigers, showing a crowd on Tennyson when he tried to turn that corner, almost like 8 in the box in football, showing 3 jerseys. No room.
And 3 on the ball. You got to get rid of it in that situation, but give Texas Southern credit. We'll see how Texas A&M-Corpus Christi make the adjustment when they're in that situation the next time.
Walker knifed through some defense, just threw it up, wanted Gresham to clean it up. He does not. And now Walker tries to do the same. He can't do it. And the Islanders with the rebound. How many times did that ball roll off the rim? Jalen Jackson splits the defense. Blocked away by Gresham. Another one. A.J. Lawson into the open floor. Right to the cup. Gets the roll.
Wow. Defense creating the runouts again for Texas Southern.
64-61. Well, if there were any jitters in the first half, there's none in the second half for anybody. With Sheila up top to Jalen Jackson. Under 4 minutes to play.
A&M-Corpus Christi, they can't afford to play on one side. The ball has never made it reverse to the left side of the floor.
How about this? Jalen Jackson finally realized that the clock was winding down. Murdix just threw it up, and the rebound by Southern. Gresham now with 13 rebounds in this ball game for Texas Southern.
And some smothering defense here by the Tigers in recent possessions, tied together, using their length, checking on the boards, not giving up those second shot opportunities.
Sheila called for that foul.
Yeah, Big Gresham, he's having a block party here in Dayton. I'm glad he invited us to the block party because during this time of the year in March Madness, we're gonna party like it's 1999.
Our game reset 3 timeouts left for Texas A&M-Corpus Christi, 2 for Texas Southern. 64-61. Kelly Jones. Johnny Jones has been around for a long time, so these moments, I don't know if Kelly's used to them or not, but it's probably a little easier. Meanwhile, Steve Lutz's wife, Shannon, you know, this is his first chance to the NCAA tournament as a head coach. He said his son Jackson, he loves the fact that his dad is the head man, kind of gets the run of the arena during practices and things.
And both wives very poised. Late in the game, they've had practice at being the most important person when it comes to a basketball program, the wife.
John Walker made the first one. John, was Johnny Jones composed?
No, Tom, he was fired up beyond belief. He can taste an NCAA tournament win. He kept hitting the clipboard and telling his team one thing. Guys, we're under 4 minutes. It's winning time, Tom.
5-point lead after the 2 made free throws. They're getting better from the free throw line. They're 14 of 23. Now they're 67% for the year, and tonight they're at 61%, so a little down, but they were in the 50s before. The ball's tipped out, and then here comes A.J. Lawson. Oh, that was almost a backcourt. P.J. Henry was able to speed across the timeline.
In these last 3 minutes, you got to play defense, both teams, without fouling, rebound, but you got to have really clean execution on the offensive end.
You like that shot, Lav, from the high post right side?
You know, could have continued to explore, but it's not a bad shot by any means. But getting deeper in the possession, quality possessions, which Coach Avery just touched on. And keep in mind, free throws, advantage goes to the Islanders, and they're going to get 2 on that possession. And that's what happens when you turn down some jumpers and you look to explore with the dribble into the paint or feed in the post. Good things happen. And they're a 74% free throw shooting team. And as we chronicled earlier, they get to the line 22 times a game, and they make, I jinxed them, 16 free throws per game.
Yeah, this is kind of a different night for them. They're 6 of 14 from the free throw line.
NCAA tournament.
I guess so.
Different conditions.
Tennyson missed one, made one. And he has 18. He'll take a breather. Jalen Jackson will come in. He's not going to sit for long, I would think, right?
No, not going to sit long. And you know the beauty of the first 4 this year, because of UCLA last year, a lot of these teams in the first 4 are thinking, hey,
absolutely.
We have a shot.
No doubt. John Walker got a little lucky on that inbounds. He wanted to lead it into P.J. Henry.
He bounced it off his fanny. Well done.
Yeah.
Talk about resourcefulness and ingenuity on the fly.
Normally that happens when it's on your side of the court.
Right.
And you turn it into a score.
P.J. Henry draws the foul with 2:12 to play. Here we go.
Well, coach is going to be taking notes on this new inbound play. It's going to become a trend around the country. Almost a shot fake into a pass off a fanny of his teammate.
Yeah.
And then ready to take it coast to coast. How about that? I like his spirit and confidence.
You can try that 10 more times and you'll be and regaining the ball.
Well, Tennyson's back in. Jalen Jackson checks out. Also back in is Miles Smith, who has the 6th most minutes played in Texas A&M Corpus Christi history. P.J. Henry to the free throw line.
Steve, why we didn't have as much fun coaching as we're having now?
Because we're undefeated.
And we're working with time.
Absolutely. He looks like an important man, and he is an important man.
We did hear that
today. As someone earlier today pointed out in the parking lot on the way into the arena, you look like an important man.
Henry's second shot.
Coach Avery said, what does that say about us?
67-62 to the foul trouble.
It'll be interesting to see here in the final minutes if experience is a factor as well. Texas Southern are more experienced teams. Islanders not as experienced.
And a big shot blocker, Gresham. He's in foul trouble, 4 fouls.
Timeout. 1:51 to play for a chance to play number 1 Kansas. Each team now has 2 timeouts left after Texas A&M-Corpus Christi used one there. It's a 5-point game. Shot clock is at 10. What are you guys thinking as coaches here?
I think both teams, want to do the things that allow them to be successful this past week in their conference tournaments, as well as closing strong on their season. And it's about concepts. You can run a set, but if it gets taken away, you've got to be able to play basketball, make choices and decisions. And defensively, you got to lock in to your baseline defensively as well.
Yeah, and tough twos on defense. You don't want easy threes.
Murdoch gives that one up with 2 on the shot clock, and the Islanders, they fumbled the rebound out of bounds. The Lazarus Keys had it, and he just couldn't hold on.
As you see the battle for the board.
Give Keys credit. He went after this rebound with 2 hands. It wasn't a one-handed attempt, so his heart was in the right place.
Jalen Jackson nearly stole that one. He fell off the baseline on a pass intended for Etienne.
Now look at this strategy from an offensive press break situation. A lot of teams like to bring all 5 players up. Here, Texas Southern, they only want 2 of their players. They have to think about implementing.
They may bring a third.
Yeah.
And
even if you flash someone to the middle, almost like a tight end in football, when a quarterback is under duress or pressure, they'll have a chance to talk about it because there's a timeout, little skull session.
Johnny Jones called that timeout, so he's down to 1. How about this, guys? He has 46 points from his bench tonight. 52 is the season high against Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Well, he adjusts to his personnel.
Yeah.
And he has a deep bench, so he rotates them liberally as we take a look at what's at stake.
Yeah, chance to move on to take on number 1 Kansas.
And A.J. Lawson's role is critically important here as an inbounder, making sure that he makes an on-time, on-target pass. And then the receivers, they got to get open.
Yeah, he backed up the spacing of the tandem of guards to give them a chance to make a secondary cut, not run out of space along the baseline.
Yeah,
good adjustment.
Yeah, and I thought P.J. Henry got away with a little push off on Jalen Jackson.
Jackson is trying to be in his back pocket, down 5, and there's the foul on Jalen Jackson.
Not what the Islanders would have preferred. If you get a steal, a 5-second count in the backcourt, but once it's inbounded, now you want to foul right away, not let them use that many seconds and then foul, because clock management is so critical coming down the home stretch.
Yeah, and if it's 10 seconds on the clock and he's 30 feet from the basket, just play on. And in that situation, P.J. Henry was close to the sideline. Now you're bringing another defender, the sideline, into play.
So these are big free throws. Henry makes the first one. He's now 8 of 10. He has 12.
Coach Avery mentioned it last year. We called the NCAA tournament game with Texas Southern down in Bloomington at Assembly Hall, and so the experience here,
no doubt.
And on the flip side, the Islanders, it's new territory. They're building a program, and what a great first season. But that seems to be showing up here in the second half, the experience of Texas Southern.
Well, with 1:15 to play in the second half, it's the largest lead of the night for Texas Southern, 69-62. Tennyson lets that one go, and it's off the side of the rim in the backboard, and the rebound easily pulled down by John Walker. And the Islanders now feel like they have to foul down 7.
Yeah, in that situation on the last play, just depends philosophically, what you're comfortable with. Coach Lutz knows his team. Some teams like to go for a quick 2, get downhill, try to get a traditional 3-point play at the basket, but that was a set play for a 3-point shot.
Well, there you see Texas Southern, the previous 2 trips to the first 4, they won. Under Mike Davis first, and then Johnny Jones last year. Etienne cans the first free throw. He has 18 points.
Think of all the basketball Johnny Jones has seen in his career as a player, as an assistant, as a head coach. And that basketball acumen is so important when you step into the postseason, and your players feed off that poise and composure. And what a bright future Coach Metz has.
Yeah, when I was coaching the Dallas Mavericks, I had a uphand and front row look at Johnny Jones when he was at North Texas. He did an incredible job at North Texas.
Well, guys, we talk about the bench scoring and how good it's been. How about what Etienne has done off the bench? 19 points for Texas Southern.
Stepping up, down and ready. Good shot preparation here. Taking it right to the hole in traffic between defenders again. Puts one down off the window. Maneuvers at a pace where he can make good judgments. He's still under control. We've given a lot of love to Coach Jones, and well-deserved. But Coach Lutz matched Iowa State this year, 18-game turnaround.
Yep.
And his ability to change the roster, bring in new personnel, junior college players as well, got it done. And what a bright future he has.
Yes, and Coach Lutz was, you know, a GA at Incarnate Word with Coach Chris Beard from Texas when, you know, back in the San Antonio days. Danny Casper.
Yep, said he borrowed a lot of his defensive concepts from Coach Casper, and McDermott and Painter really influence him with the offensive side of the ball.
All right, so the Islanders off this timeout, under a minute to play. Everything's hedged out. Murdix goes to the basket. He's fouled going up, so he'll get 2 free throws with 53.5 to play.
So that was a nice job of making the decision that they were going to clear the entire left side out to get downhill.
Well, pick up that foul and you stop the clock as well. Now you can set your defense after these free throws if they convert. Now going back to Coach Lutz for a moment, at his press conference, he was bold and said, NCAA tournament possible this year.
Right.
And throughout the year, he stayed with that narrative. One of those, if you can, you know, believe it, conceive it to begin with, believe it, then you can achieve it. And that's exactly what they did in year one.
Yeah, Murdix missed one, made one. Problem is tonight, Texas Southern's defense has been better against the Islanders, particularly the last 6 minutes. No field goals for the Islanders in the last 6 minutes of this game.
Well, the size and the length, and they also cooled down Tennyson, showed him more of a crowd, stayed attached. They were really aware as a team defensively about shutting the water off of Tennyson.
Well, to the free throw line is John Walker. And he gets the roll. So how about this second half? You know, we talked about how they struggled from the free throw line early on. 5 for 9 in the first half. They're 17 of 21 in the second half from the free throw line.
They flipped the script.
Yeah, sure did.
Because the strength of the Islanders all year has been the free throw battle.
And we talked to Texas Southern about, hey, you want to defend the three-point line, rebound? Said, no, number one point of emphasis is keeping Texas A&M-Corpus Christi off the free throw line.
They keep this one alive. From the corner, it's Murdix for 3. He got it to go. And there's the last timeout called by Texas A&M-Corpus Christi, as Murdix now has 10. And the lead is 7 with 38 seconds left to play.
And one of the rare breakdowns defensively in the second half for Texas Southern, but well devised and well executed by the Islanders.
It's been about 5.5 minutes since the last field goal. All right, so the award, or the reward, is #1 Kansas. That's a hefty task.
Yeah, but that's what March Madness is all about. Kansas will be the heavy favorite, and Texas Southern is going to be on a high. They're ready. Ernie Banks, let's play 2. When you're in a good place and you're rolling as they have been of late, you can't wait to play.
Yeah, and what Coach Jones talked about was, you know, the kind of that secret weapon that's not really a secret anymore. Bryson Gresham.
Size.
That's size.
That's Big 12 caliber size and length.
And when you put Jordan Cole Nicholas, and then you're bringing John Walker off the bench, experience, playing in a Power 5 conference, They're not going to back down from anybody.
No, and then complemented by the perimeter attack, who've all represented well tonight. But P.J. Henry and A.J. Lawson.
All right, so the Islanders down 7, 73-66, 38 seconds left. Use the last timeout. Put your coaching hat on here, guys. What do you think's going to have to happen?
Well, Texas A&M-Corpus Christi, they're saying, guys, don't count us out. We still got 38 seconds. You got to switch, same size here in the backcourt, switch and deny. You want to try to make them throw the ball a little bit over the top to some of these guards here in the backcourt.
They try and get a lollipop pass, soft lob pass, and be picked off.
Well, there you go.
There it is.
Picked off. Jalen Jackson to the rim, and he's fouled going up. So the clock barely ticks off, and they'll go back to the free throw line, and a couple made free throws could cut this.
And that's the worst place to inbound the ball, deep in the corner near Texas A&M Corpus Christi's bench. Outstanding interception there by Jalen Jackson. This game's not over.
Yeah, so he's 2 for 2 tonight. He makes these 2. It's a 5-point game.
And keep in mind, going back to the press offense, I think Coach Jones brings a third receiver up the floor just because the numbers right now are not favoring a press attack. You want to get more people up here who can potentially receive the inbound pass. Maybe even someone tall you can throw it to above, up high, like a tight end.
Yeah, in this situation, you know, you can sub out your center.
And now we have 3.
Yeah, 2-possession game.
Pounder makes 4.
And they chip it again. It's loose. Jalen Jackson underneath slips it in off the glass. No good. Ball's tipped around. And the rebound is taken down by Etienne, who's fouled. Oh, man.
Tough break for the Islanders. Picture perfect press defense here. Created another steal. Unfortunately, this left-handed shot didn't go in. Poor execution here by Texas A&M. That could have been a foul.
Yeah, John Walker looked like it was body to body.
Wow.
So Etienne 7 for 7 from the line tonight. 8 for 8. He has 20. 22 is his season high.
You're seeing that speed, cat-quick speed, ball pressure by the Islanders, really disrupting, not allowing Texas Southern to get the ball in bounds.
There's a pretty big difference in free throws attempted and made tonight. Look at that. 19 seconds left. Tennyson can't can the 3. The rebound is taken down by P.J. Henry, who's fouled from behind.
I know you showed the families earlier.
Yeah.
But when that game got down to 5 points, boy, you could see the families. They were all biting their nails. Not anymore.
Kelly's breathing a little easier now.
Yeah.
By the way, Murdoch's just fouled out.
How about P.J. Henry? 9 of 11 from the foul line. Opportunity to make 2 more here. That's how you close out a game, with your free throw shooting, like the short game in golf.
Yeah, they're 20 of 24 in the second half from the free throw line. And he just missed that one.
We've had 3 broadcasting jinxes tonight. You started it.
Well, Steve Lutz's team, 5-19 a season ago. He took over, and all of his recruiting, as John Rothstein said earlier, was on Zoom, FaceTime. What a turnaround.
Well, you could tell, speaking with him yesterday at practice, how proud he is of this group, and that means everyone. The buy-in was there, establishing the culture in year 1, and really shocking the world in terms of college basketball.
That ball was tipped, and now the last 7 seconds will run off the clock in Texas Southern for the 2nd straight year. The 3rd consecutive time that they've ventured into the first 4, will move on to the first rounds of the NCAA tournament. And they will take on #1 Kansas. They win it 76-67, and they won it at the free throw line in the second half. All right, so update your bracket, everybody. Number 1, Kansas will face number 16, Texas Southern, Thursday in Fort Worth, Texas at 9:57 Eastern Time. All right, John Rothstein, take it away.
Well, Johnny, congratulations on a great victory. How did you get separation down the stretch?
Our guys continued to play extremely hard on both ends of the floor. I thought defensively we got the necessary stops here. We were able to open the floor up on the offensive end, had some driving lanes for Walker, and I thought we made enough plays down there, and then we were able to finish it off getting to the free throw line, knocking down free throws.
The next game is Kansas, but it's in your home state of Texas. What does it mean for Texas Southern to play a game in Fort Worth close to home?
Oh, I can't tell you how excited we are to get back to Fort Worth area and Dallas area. It's an area where our fans are going to be able to come. We'll certainly have our share. Kansas is a fantastic basketball team. Bill Self has done a tremendous job over the years. Great tradition in their program, but it's something that our players are really looking forward to and certainly welcome the opportunity just presented itself because of the play here tonight.
Thanks. All the best moving forward.
Thank you, John.
Tom.
26 of 35 for the free throw line, 74%, 21 of 26 in the second half. They win it to advance 76-67. The first 4 continues later with Indiana versus Wyoming. Coming up next, we'll send you to our Atlanta studio after these messages. Come on back to Dayton in just a little bit.